views expressed on this program are those of the hosts, guests, and callers, and are not necessarily those of this station, its management, or other advertisers. You're listening to Transformation Talk Radio.
Get ready for a game changer. Sarah Westall is bringing you Business Game Changers Radio. Mondays at noon Pacific, 3 Eastern, Sarah will bring you leading experts, visionaries, and newsmakers who provide the best commentary on big issues and cutting-edge innovations. Sarah's 20 years as a business executive will help you think like an entrepreneur with expertise, energy, and attitude. Now here's your host, Sarah Westall.
Welcome to Business Game Changers. I'm Sarah Westall, and you're listening to Conscious Business Radio on the Transformation Talk Radio Network. There has been a lot of racial tensions lately, whether you're talking about Charlotte or whether you're talking about Minnesota, Dallas, all sorts of things, whether you're talking about the wall that the presidential campaigns have been discussing lately as well. But the racial tensions are getting to a point where people are dying and people are getting hurt. Well, we've had racial tensions, let's face it, for centuries. But now it's coming to a head. It feels like the 60s to a lot of people, during the Vietnam War, all the civil rights movements that were going on. And we're in that place again. It's being fueled from many different sources, whether it is the mass incarceration rates that are out of control, or whether it's the perceived or real racial bias that is in our justice system. I have Andro Samuel, the CEO and managing partner of Live ESQ, and they have this application that is going to stream live, kind of like a FaceTime app that are going to bring attorneys to the site during a traffic stop, and they're going to be counseling the people who are being stopped and making sure the police are following the rules. They've been trying to get body cameras on the police for years now. In the places where they have successfully done a lot of that, the stats are staggering, up to 80% reduction in complaints against the police, less statistically relevant, less arrests, and just a lot of goodwill between the community and the police. The police are safer and the drivers are safer. So it's an interesting area. I like this because it's a free market, community-driven kind of deal. So we're going to bring on Andro Samuel to discuss it. But before we get into that, we are going to be talking about the amazing drug addiction that's going on in this country. There's millions, upwards of 100 million drug addicts in this country, and the majority of it is due to just simply addiction to prescription pain medications. I'm going to bring on a pharmacist who owns Shalom Pharmacy, and they have an amazing, innovative approach to not only taking care of customers on a one-on-one basis by doing customized drugs that pharmacies no longer do, but they also work one-on-one with doctors to create a treatment plan that's targeted to pain areas that will minimize the drug effects, the addictive effects, so people do not get addicted to drug medications. It's an amazing, innovative approach that they're using to combat a very awful problem. And it's a very welcoming sign to see a pharmacy doing that when a lot of pharmacies are dropping their services because insurance does not cover these types of services anymore. And they've figured out a way to keep this affordable for the public. So we are going to get into that now. And let's welcome Shalom, the owner of Shalom Pharmacy, now.
Hi, Shalom. Welcome to the program.
Hi, Sarah. Thanks. Nice to be with you.
You are doing something different with your pharmacy, and people were doing it more before, but people have stopped doing it. Pharmacies have stopped doing this, but you're still doing it and making it affordable. You're doing something called compounded medications. and it really helps people. What are compounded medications?
Basically, compounding medications is custom-made drugs. Sometimes drugs go off market, and we source the ingredients. It's basically the most classic practice of any pharmacy. That was our before manufacturing became available. Every pharmacy used to compound medications, concoctions, but now everything is ready-made. So certain dosage forms for patients, lollipops or drinks or suppositories, we continue to make that.
Why do people need this for their health? Because they stopped doing it because of it gets down to my whole McDonald's drive-through on everything. I think that we're just trying to cram people into the same process, and all these people fall out. This is an example of where we have this manufacturing process go on, and all these people are falling out of that process, and we need people to still do these things. Why do people need this for their health?
Well, it's personalized medications. It's not one size fits all like the manufacturers have us, and it's more targeted therapy. What we focus on is more of topical preparations. We don't do sterile compounding. You need special equipment for that. What we do is like pain creams a lot of the time, because people are addicted to pain medications, and when they take medications by mouth, there's a lot of side effects that can happen, but this avoids it. So if you have lower back pain, you're applying the cream directly to your back. It doesn't have to go through your entire system. So you're getting a targeted therapy that's customizable for your condition, and you're avoiding side effects because you're applying directly where the pain is, let's say. Does that make sense?
So every cell in your body isn't getting it that doesn't need it. You're just doing it directly. And so your body it's a targeted area in your body, so your body's not being overdosed in a way. It's not overdose. That's probably the wrong word. But other areas of your body that doesn't need it won't get it.
Exactly.
It's healthier.
It's much healthier. We actually have excellent results, because if people call themselves for refills and they want more, I'm assuming that it's working well and they need more relief.
So why are pharmacies around the country no longer offering these services? Because it seems like it would be so beneficial.
Many pharmacies are reducing, if completely going out of compounding niche, because of reimbursement cuts, and the insurance has really control of what we can do and what we can't. So many insurances stop paying for it altogether. But we continue to try to innovate every time and reinvent ourselves by providing different types of compounding that are affordable, and we could still stay in business and still provide that good personalized service to the patient. It's one patient at a time. It's specific to that patient.
So you've devised a plan to keep it affordable so that people can actually do this, where a lot of pharmacies are just unable to do that. Or these mass pharmacies, they just can't. They're not equipped to do these things. But how does this affect patients and doctors? I would assume doctors that know about you and what you're doing would love this. So how does it affect the patients and doctors who are trying to care for them who cannot get this anymore?
Well, that's why we get a lot of referral sources, because we're not expensive. We are affordable, and when the patient's getting the relief, the doctor looks happy, and he's happy, and the patient's happy, and we're happy that we're actually getting something right to the patient that's beneficial to their health. Because the most important thing is patient-centered approach, and the whole triad relationship, like a triangle. Everybody's happy in that relationship.
Well, is the word getting around to doctors that, hey, this is great, and this is a service that people need? And I mean, there's other things that people, I know you were telling me about people who can't swallow pills. You do different things there as well. Like, what other things can you do that really helps people that other pharmacies just can't, because you're able to do, you're not using these big manufacturing processes when it doesn't work for you? Right.
So we're small, so we have a lot of less overhead. And a lot of doctors recommend us to their friends and other doctors because they're seeing that we're on time, we do the deliveries on time, the patient's getting their drugs.
But what other problems are there? I know you were talking about being able to swallow, and people are being forced to have these medications even though they can't swallow. I don't know what they're going to do in those cases. And you're talking about applying pain medication. Now, if you're doing pain medication just to your back, does that help in, like you're saying, side effects? So many people are addicted to pain medications. Would that keep the addiction effect minimized?
The theory behind it that we put in practice, that we see as the results, is when a patient is using our creams, they're lessening their pill burden. So if they're taking a lot of tablets per day for pain relief. Now they're taking much less because they don't need it as much as they're getting that relief. And slowly we see that they're weaning off their pain medications. And those that cannot swallow, let's say we can make it into a drink. I've made troches, which is like candies, so people can suck on and get the drug absorbed through their cheeks. I mean, we've done suppositories for people who cannot, who vomit all the time. They cannot hold medications down, so we made suppositories for certain conditions. So it's really personalized. We'll get a request, and we try to tailor make it to that patient, to that problem.
Well, how do you still offer these services? I know that you try to keep these profitable or try to keep these affordable, but how do you offer these services when a lot of other pharmacies are not able to? And I know there's the mass, big, huge ones. They just probably don't want to bother with it, which is probably the big issue. But how are you doing it?
We are able to source the raw ingredients at a much cheaper rate because of our volume. And we have a good relationship with our wholesalers, and we're part of different organizations. So that gives us a better buying power. And that way we could, forward the savings to the patient.
Well, I love what you're doing. I think I would think there'd be a lot of people in that industry that would be very passionate about this need, that people need this. I know I did a show on addiction to pain medication and how severe that problem is across our country. It's a really bad issue that's going on right now. And I think this could be an excellent solution to a major problem that we have. How can people reach you?
They could call us at the pharmacy. They could fax. Email. We try to be very available. We're on Facebook. You need our phone number?
Yeah, give me your phone number, and I'll also put it on the radio page, because this is excellent. If you're addicted to pain medications, now tell me, if you're addicted to a pain medication, do you work with the patient to slowly get them on not addicted by switching to a cream with their doctor? You work with their doctor. Yes. And the medications to get them off this addiction. Right.
It's a triad relationship. So we're constantly in contact with their doctors and try to figure out a way how, they could use our therapy and complement to their ongoing therapy. We're seeing results. It's a very slow process. Pain addiction is a very big problem in the city right now. A lot of kids are addicted to heroin because it's cheaper than any other drugs. So it's a very challenging problem, and it's really close relationship with doctors is what really differentiates. A lot of doctors call me on my cell phone and ask me questions. What can I do for this patient? What can I do for that patient? And it's just our willingness to really work with the patient and the doctor. I think that sets us apart.
Well, and I think getting on this whole McDonald's drive-through thing and realize that we need to do what's right for patients and start offering, we know how to do this, start offering these kind of services to people, and you're such a model of what you can do. Give me your phone number. We'll get that out to the world, and then I will have your information on the radio page so that people can contact you. Now, you can only sell in New York, right?
At the moment, we're licensed in New York State, but if we have a lot of requests that's out of state, we will get the appropriate licenses for that. And our phone number is 718-253-4900, and our fax number is 718-253-4905.
Excellent. Thank you, Shalom. I will get that up on the radio page, and thank you so much for everything that you're doing. I think you're doing a great service for the world. Let's get out of this McDonald's drive-through attitude.
Right. One person at a time. We're very passionate about it, and we're looking for good talent. If people are looking for a job, we want people that want to grow. We're always looking for good talent.
Okay, excellent. You have a wonderful day.
Thank you, Sarah. It was great. Thank you.
I will have his contact information up on my webpage at sarahwestall.com. And you can also find all sorts of information on the shows that I do and articles. Every single show I do, I have articles that accompany it with details and facts and whatever. I love this show today because it is really showing two different businesses that are using the free market to solve real problems in society. And that's what the free market's about. Whenever things go awry, there's a void out there, and people will start demanding or needing services to fill that void. And so